Well, I showed you this little tool last year and it sold out real quick. So if you want one, you better get it. Let me show you what it is and what it does. Amazing little tool. So let me demonstrate what it does. It basically ties things together. If I wanted those two things tied together, staples it, they're tied. And that staple and that tape is strong. So let me show you some of the applications. I've tied grapes with it, blackberries with it, tomatoes, all sorts of stuff. Right now we're gonna do cucumbers. They're in the earth boxes here and they're growing up that trellis, or they're growing and they need to go up that trellis. So we're going to see to it that they get a good head start. We're gonna train them. So how this works, you click it one time, just barely squeeze it. You can hear it click a little, and that picks up the tape and pulls it out. Then the next click, next time when you get where you want, then you'll really squeeze down on it and that will staple it. So let me show you what I'm doing here. I can keep my head out of the way. I'm just gonna staple that right there on that wire, on that strand. This is Hortinova trellis from Haas Tools. And I just want to give it a good head start. This one here, that one needs a little boost. Pick up the tape, wrap it around, keep that thing off the ground. There we go. Another one here. Pick up the tape. And that is just going to make these things go up the trellis. Let me come over here and do a couple more. And I'll show you some tomatoes. I got a few tomatoes that need to be tied, so good opportunity to show you that. This one, the trailing edge here, has got that tendril on it. I want that tendril to be in contact or close to that netting. So I'm going to come in here and do that right there. This one, same thing. And it's that quick. It's just so simple and so quick. You want to make sure you get around that plant and don't when you squeeze it, you don't squeeze it and break that plant. You need to make sure you give it plenty of room. So look on the back side where that's going to come together. That's the only issue is sometimes I have messed up the plant. But I have learned to do better. All right, man, this side is tied. I'll go around the other side and tie it, and then I'll show you some tomatoes. A little bit of leaf that time. Pull that loose. This one needs to go. I may wait a day or two on that till they can reach the trellis a little better. It starts getting a little crowded when you're doing both sides here. If you're putting a lot of them together, you maybe have to wait till it gets up a little taller to do it. So I may have to do that on a couple of these. That one's kind of tall, probably do it. I like this Hortinova trellis because you can as you're tying it, you can pull that trellis out. It's pliable. If it's a cattle panel, something like that, you can't do that. So I really like the trellis using this tool. So I've got this big tomato cage. The tomatoes plant is probably already 5 feet tall. And I try to keep it inside the tomato cage, but I can't always do that. So if I can't, here's what I do. Reach up here, wrap around, tie it. It's only one on this side. It's starting to sprinkle a little bit, so let me hurry. So again, if your tomatoes have come out of the cages, branching out of the cages, and you want to take control of them, no better way to do it than this. I'm trying to get out of the view of the camera here. Go in there. And that branch that was hanging out is now tied. I can do the same with that one. And they'll stay there all season. I had some of these that I had to pull off in the wintertime, and because they'll stay a long time. And this will keep your tomatoes close. Look at those tomatoes. That is a Mountain Vineyard cherry tomato. Man, it looks pretty. But I'm impressed with that little tool, and it will tie whatever you need to tie. On blackberries, if you've got a trellis, I showed you how to build a real nice trellis. If you've got a trellis that you want them to stay within that trellis or on that trellis, then just take one of the canes, do that, staple it in there on the trellis. I've used it on blackberries quite a bit, and but it works great on any kind of vining crop, anything that's vining and wants to crawl, and it's just a good way to. Typically, if you have a vining crop, you have to train it. You have to show it where you want it to crawl. And then as it grows, if it's something with tendrils or if it's going to wrap around it or whatever, but you have to kind of train it. You have to kind of show it where you want it to go. And then, but this is a grand little tool of helping you train your vegetables and fruits like that. So try to pick one of these up. I'll put a link to this one below, and then I'll put a link to some others that look just like it, just different brand names. And if this one is gone, be sure and get you one of the other ones, because they are really, really worth the trouble. It's 25 or 30 bucks as I remember it, maybe 40, 35, 40, but check them out. It's just a great, great little tool that has saved me so much time and energy, and I like it. All right, we're gone.